So our two choices for president of the United States is a wannabe fascist criminal being charged in 4 different trials with 92 total charges, or a fascist genocidal supporter who pretends to care about human rights. The United States is going to be in for another 4 years of total shit. Though if Trump does win presidency, what's the point in any laws when he doesn't follow any laws and can get away with it? It's kind of crazy that we're supposed to be a nation of law and order, and our potential president is one of the biggest criminals in United States history.
The election of 24 is the single most important election in the history of our country.
Former U.S. President Donald Trump has been impeached twice, tried to thwart the peaceful transition of power after losing in 2020,
We will never concede.
and faces scores of charges in multiple criminal cases.
I am being indicted for you.
But with less than a
Right. That's how Trump loves to play off his criminal charges. It's all for the right wing base that supports being he's a criminal for them. Though it's funny how what during Trump's administration the right wing touted how they were morally better than everybody else because they're all about law and order, and now they're gonna vote for a criminal.
year to go until the U.S. election,
Make America great again.
Trump currently stands a better chance at returning to the White House than at any point since he left office.
Incredible people. Thank you.
He leads his rivals for the Republican presidential nomination by nearly 50 points in national opinion polls. Here's 4 reasons why he could win the November 2024 election against Democratic incumbent Joe Biden. The White House argues the economy is in good shape. Unemployment is down to a near historic low of 3.9%, compared to 6.3% when Trump left office. Inflation is cooling. But with wages not keeping up to the cost of essential goods and services, many voters don't believe it. And opinion polls show voters by a large margin see Republicans as better stewards of the economy.
Well, that's hilarious. Better stewards of the economy? Right wingers claim to be like fiscally conservative, yet they're willing to spend tons of money on police, tons of money giving it to the Israeli government for welfare. How is that fiscally conservative? If they were truly like fiscally conservative, they would be in favor of legalizing drugs. Because that's a great way of making money, and you can regulate drugs so that people are safer. They would be for reducing the amount of like nonviolent offenders in jail, and reducing the for-profit prisons, but they're not for any of that kind of stuff because they're just liars.
Trump also speaks to the worries, real or not, that many white Americans have in a country that's becoming more diverse and culturally progressive. There's a sense that
Yeah, a bunch of fascist right-wingers are afraid that white people don't have the kind of power like they used to, where they could just rape women and get away with it. That's the fear factor that Trump likes to tout with right-wingers.
some of the key benchmarks of American life, owning a home, a decent wage, and a college education, are becoming further from reach. Polls show voters
Yeah, and that is because our presidents, no matter Democrat or Republican, continually support the corporations, whatever they want, and buying up as many residential properties as they want, while not ever increasing wages to keep up with inflation. It's about time we started making absentee landlordism illegal.
are worried about crime and nervous about the flow of migrants crossing the US-Mexico border illegally. Trump is adept at harnessing those fears. Democrats and critics in Trump's own party argue he's unfit for office. But at least half of Republicans surveyed by Reuters Ipsos earlier this year said they would have no problem voting for Trump even if he were convicted of a crime.
Wow, that's hilarious. These people who claim to be the party of law and order is willing to vote for a person convicted of crimes, at the same time screaming about how Biden and Hunter Biden are like these big-time criminals. They claim to hate criminal presidents and criminal leaders and criminal officials while supporting them at the same time, because these people are truly stupid and they don't even know what they want.
The former president can also point to his time in office and argue the machinery of government largely functioned, if at times chaotically.
Right. Where was the functioning going on when he was at the beginning of the pandemic and just did a bunch of lies, like telling people to inject bleach and...
Despite heavy government investment in infrastructure, clean energy, and chip manufacturing, the White House has not been able to persuade much of the public that Biden's job creation policies have made a difference to their lives. There are also two
because there hasn't been any changes to majority of American lives. We're still struggling with trying to afford to live. And fuck piece of shit who doesn't deserve to be president. And anybody that still supports him after his support of Israel are just, again, they're just fascist racist, just pretending to be about freedoms.
foreign wars dividing Americans. Trump's America First message could resonate with voters wary of more involvement in Ukraine or Israel.
I could be dictator again.
But Trump does remain deeply unpopular in many parts of the country. And his fire.
Yeah, because people don't want a president that's a stupid fascist racist. I mean, Trump is one of the stupidest presidents that we've ever had.
Rhetoric could turn off moderate Republicans or independent voters. If he becomes the nominee, it could also provoke a high turnout for Democrats against him.